Nancy Zinker reached out and smoothed Beatrice's flyaway hairs. Much better, she said. Beatrice held her breath and waited. Now hurry up and eat your breakfast. You need your protein. The bus will be here any second. Nancy Zinker went back to the counter, scrambling to finish their lunches. Pete Zinker winked and went back to his reading. Henry returned to his yogurt. Kate, for once, was speechless. Beatrice took her place at the table and tried not to smile. Everything had gone exactly as planned. Kate flipped a flashcard at her. Bravo! Her father slipped her an extra piece of bacon. With her heart thudding in her chest, Beatrice kept a straight face. It was too soon to celebrate. She wasn't out of the woods until she was out of the house. The ninja suit still had to survive breakfast. Chapter 5. Eat fast, Bray. Breakfast went like most meals in the Zinker household. Henry was the star of the show. Breakfast starring Henry. Beatrice crunched her bacon and waited for it to begin. It didn't take long. Henry drained the last of his yogurt and thumped the empty container on his tray. Every head turned toward the high chair. Pete Zinker folded his paper. You hear that, honey? He asked. Nancy Zinker clapped her hands. He said, more, please. Kate threw flashcards on the table. In Swahili? Pete grabbed Henry another yogurt while Nancy dashed for the camera. Pete Zinker's ruffled Henry's fuzzy head. Attaboy, buddy, he said. Kate scooted her chair over to her brother and flipped through her flashcards. Kate dabbled in a dozen languages. Henry was a baby genius. Beatrice spoke Pig Latin. Her talent was generally underappreciated. En Kaiua ya aspe ethy Europe se is play? She asked. Pardon? Said Kate. What? Her parents asked in unison. Ga? Said Henry, possibly in Gaelic. Kate pointed at Henry. Did you hear that? Nancy Zinker snapped another picture. I sure did. No one passed the syrup. Beatrice shrugged and stretched across the table. Ever mind, nay, she said, and grabbed it herself. Mind your manners, Beatrice, said her mother. It's not polite to reach. She stood behind Henry to get a better view and refocused her camera. Pete, did you see his tray? It's my favorite yet. Henry Zinker, mixed media. Moments later, the familiar squeal of hydraulic brakes interrupted the show. Boss! Nancy Zinker called out. Beatrice shoveled in a final bite of breakfast, then hopped to her feet. Her ninja suit was one step closer to safety. Kate ran out the door shouting, Au revoir! While Beatrice hurried to keep up. The bus waited at the corner with its red lights flashing. Beatrice was halfway down the concrete steps, about to jump to the sidewalk when Pete Zinker stepped onto the porch. His newspaper rolled into a megaphone. Hey, Bee! He called to her. Beatrice turned around. The bus doors were already opening for Kate. She was so close. Keep your chin up, Buttercup, he said with a smile. He said the same thing every day. By now, Beatrice knew what he really meant. It was simultaneous dad code for I love you. And please, for the love of Pete, stay right side up today. Beatrice flashed her dad a thumbs up before jogging toward the waiting bus. She hoped he wouldn't misinterpret the gesture for any sort of agreement. Not a promise. Today was not a day for right-side-up promises. She waited all summer for this moment. Operation Upside was a go, and she and Lenny Santos had big plans. Right on cue, Chapter 6. Classroom 3B swarmed with familiar faces and new backpacks, but there was only one person Beatrice wanted to find. Standing in the middle of the room, Beatrice spun in a full circle, checking every face. She didn't see Lenny anywhere. "You must be Beatrice," said a voice behind her. Beatrice turned to find Mrs. Tamarack. Her new teacher, Evelyn Tamarack, was a legend at William Charles Elementary. She put the upstanding in the school's stand-up reputation. Beatrice held out her hand and introduced herself. "Beatrice Zinker," she said, "upside-down thinker. Hi." "I am well aware, Miss Zinker," Mrs. Tamarack informed her. Beatrice tried to concentrate on her new teacher, but Lenny was missing. Her eyes drifted to the door. Lots of kids came in. Operation Upside would never run out of candidates to spy on. But no Lenny. Not Lenny, not Lenny, nope. And no, no one. Still no. Mrs. Tamarack cleared her throat. "You should," she told Beatrice. "I am not like your other teachers. I do not give awards for bad behavior, and I do not tolerate upside-down antics in my classroom." 3 more kids came in the door. "But if you save your tricks for outdoors," said Mrs. Tamarack, "I believe we'll get along just fine." Beatrice earnestly nodded her head. "I will try my best." "You'll get 3 reminders, then recess is on the line." The door swung open again. Always tardy, Sam Darcy slipped into the room, but still no Lenny. "Don't worry," said Beatrice. "Recess is very important to me, especially this year. Operation Upside would take every spare moment and more." Mrs. Tamarack let out her breath. "That's very good to hear." Right on cue, Lenny Santos walked through the door. Chapter 7, Imposter. At least someone who looked a lot like Lenny walked through the door. Beatrice had known Lenny Santos since she was 6 years old. She would recognize her anywhere. Lenny's hair was short and shaggy. Lenny wore bright green glasses. She loved her brother's hand-me-downs and lived for adventure. The girl in the doorway was not quite Lenny. Her signature green glasses were missing. Her hair was longer and curlier than Beatrice remembered. It wasn't regular curly either. It was kind of curly you get with a curling iron and a lot of time in front of the mirror with your mother. But that wasn't the worst part. Lenny had promised to wear her ninja suit. The girl staring back at Beatrice was not wearing a ninja suit. She was not, in fact, wearing a single item of black clothing. She wasn't even wearing jeans and a superhero t-shirt like Lenny usually wore. Nothing about her outfit said co-founder of a top-secret operation. Not quite Lenny wore a skirt and a pink ruffled sweater that sparkled like a disco ball. She walked right up to Beatrice, pointing at her outfit. "Wow," said the Lenny look-alike. "You really wore it." Imposter. Curls, missing glasses, ruffles, sparkles, and a skirt. Maybe it was the real Lenny after all. "Where's yours?" Beatrice wanted to know. "Did your mom say no?" "Not exactly," said Lenny, really slow. A million hopeful possibilities ran through Beatrice's mind. "Is it in your backpack or under that sweater?" "No." Lenny batted Beatrice's hand away and bit her lip. "To be honest, I forgot all about it." That seemed impossible. "But we made plans," said Beatrice. "That was a long time ago, Beatrice. We were in 2nd grade. It was only 3 months ago, back when Lenny had straight hair and thought wearing a ninja suit was the best idea ever." "I have an idea," said Beatrice. "What if we scope out our base today, and then we both wear our ninja suits tomorrow?" "I don't know," said Lenny. I'm not sure mine fits anymore. Beatrice tilted her head to the side. It was true. Lenny did look taller, but maybe it was just the curls. Lenny leaned in and lowered her voice. Beatrice stepped closer. There's someone I want you to meet, Lenny said. Just be cool, okay? I'm always cool, said Beatrice. Just be normal then? Lenny stepped to the side and revealed the tallest third grader Beatrice had ever seen. Lenny waved her forward. This is Chloe, my new neighbor. She just moved in. Hi, said Beatrice, looking up at Chloe. Hey, said Chloe, looking down at Beatrice. Beatrice is the one I told you about, Lenny added. Relief rushed through Beatrice. Lenny had forgotten their official plans over the summer, but at least she hadn't forgotten her completely. Then Lenny said something else. She's the one with the sister in 5th grade. The sister who runs the foreign language club? Chloe asked. Beatrice blinked her eyes and shook her head. Even suited up in a ninja costume, there are certain things you are never prepared to hear. Your sister's club sounds like a great way to meet new friends, said Chloe. Lenny threw her arm around Chloe. Will you talk to Kate for us? No words came to Beatrice. She just stood there, thinking. She wasn't thinking of an answer for Lenny. Instead, she pictured Mrs. Jenkins and her cat and how today was not supposed to be like this. Mrs. Tamarick closed the door and clapped her hands. Find your seats, class! Before Beatrice could recover her voice, Lenny walked off in search of her seat. She located her name at a desk near the door. Look, Chloe, your desk is right next to mine. Chloe dropped her skinny purple backpack on the desk adjacent to Lenny's. 6th grader, Beanstalk, Kate, 3rd grader, 2nd grader, 1st grader, Genius brother. Hi. Hey. Beatrice trailed after them, searching for her spot nearby. Mrs. Tamarick called her name. I put you right here, Beatrice, she told her, patting the tabletop at the front of the room, where I can keep an eye on you. The room quieted. Beatrice felt everyone's eyes as she slid into her desk. Mrs. Tamarick stood directly in front of her. Good morning, class, she announced. Welcome to 3rd grade. Beatrice checked the clock. There were exactly 87 minutes until recess. She had 87 minutes to fix things with Lenny, 87 minutes to coordinate a rendezvous point, and 87 minutes to make a plan. None of that worried Beatrice. But this did. Her desk was right under Mrs. Tamarick's nose. She had exactly 87 minutes to stay out of trouble, or recess was gone, and it was all for nothing. Operation Upside was doomed. Beatrice Zinker. Chapter 8, 87 minutes. Mrs. Tamarick watched her like a hawk. With the threat of losing recess looming over her and Operation Upside in jeopardy, Beatrice was on her best behavior. Nevertheless, the morning was filled with one misunderstanding after another. I dropped my cap. That's one. I'm just tying my shoe. Beatrice knew better than to argue. Instead, she kept her chin up and waited for a moment to catch Lenny alone. At mid-morning, Mrs. Tamarick made an announcement. Once you finish your All About Me project, turn it in to me, and then you may visit the activity center at the back of the room. Beatrice seized the opportunity. She scribbled her name on the back of her poster, then wandered toward the opposite end of the classroom. She paused at Lenny's desk on the way. Want to do a puzzle? Sure, said Lenny, grabbing another marker. I'm almost done. While Lenny added finishing touches to her poster, Beatrice dumped a bag of puzzle pieces on the rug at the back of the room. Her fingers quickly went to work, flipping the cardboard right side up. Beatrice picked up her favorite piece. cleared a space in the center of the carpet, and dropped it